Yes.
Awesome.
That's correct.
Okay, sounds good. So my name is Guy Gagnon. I moved to Barrie in 2006. Had some, kind of various jobs. Used to be a massage therapist, other various jobs in between, floundering around really in life. And then we had a kid. During pat leave, I got my license. So I'm a March anniversary. April 1st is my reset. So I'm 11 years in the business. And some previous business experience, but nothing quite like real estate. And because, as I mentioned, floundered, we had like no social life. I have very small social circle, no family in the area. And so this is why I'm so passionate about lead generation. Without lead generation, I wouldn't have the business I have now. So over the last 4, 5, 6 years, I've basically been, between 18 and 24 deals every year. 2023 was a low one there with the way the market was. And honestly, I think I was burnt out from 2022 and got out of the consistent activities of lead generation because we're so busy just dealing with the business I had. So lead generation, I'll go through the slides. You don't need to know too much about me. I was on a team when I first started. My first experience with training with Keller Williams was Bold. It's a course that we have. And the number one accountability piece with that course is you need to have 20 real estate conversations in person or on the phone with 20 different people every day for 5 days a week. So 100 conversations about real estate, 100 different people per week, and write them down, names, everything, and show that every week. So that's an 8-week course. We came back with that. So early on, pink, green, whatever, pink, baby's pink, and green is not that skilled. Real estate agent, learning some of the activities and the processes, but the accountability, like the numbers that you have to do to get traction. And the hardest thing to do, think of a rocket ship and how much fuel it uses in the first 30 seconds, 60 seconds. The hardest thing to do is just get that momentum. Once you have it, it's kind of cruise, if you will. So that was 11 years started. Last 5, 6 years, I haven't been going and doing those 100 contacts every week, but I'm doing more deals than I was back then, right? So it took a while to get started, and some of that consistent effort kind of pays off. Okay, cool. So talk about open houses. Great way to get leads and a few other things as well. So nothing else about your business will have as big an impact on it as the number of leads you have. So capturing leads, generating traffic, but having those conversations. So whether you're door knocking, cold calling, people are coming to you in an open house, nothing will build your business or have an impact as to the number of people you have to talk to. Because if it was like, hey, who's in my phone, and say it was 100 people, I can only talk to 100 people until I go and capture more leads and start adding them to my database, which you guys have talked a lot about database and stuff already. So these are some limiting beliefs. I don't know, I keep looking there, I see the exact same thing here. Who has a listing right now, right? I actually have one, but it's a lease, and so I'm not going to hold that open. And I do have one going live tomorrow, and we will be holding open houses. So it's perfect timing to be chatting about this. But if you don't have an open house, okay, next question, follow up. Who has heard of Peggy Hill? Yeah, okay. So Peggy Hill, her family used to have a Greek restaurant in the Kozlov Mall, and she knew nothing about real estate, had no listings, like all brand new agents, and was in an office where there were a lot of seasoned agents who did not want to hold their houses open. And so she would do 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday, 3 if she could fit them in. And she had her signs out there, she promoted them, advertised them, whatever she did, but it was her face. And so the community became like familiar with her and like, well, I see you everywhere, right? You must have all these listings. She didn't have any. Okay, so if you don't have a listing to hold open, or 100 agents in the office, many of them may have a listing that they would like to promote. So reach out to Dave, or there's a KW private chat that we have on WhatsApp. Hey, I'm looking for an open house, or the Facebook group. I'd love to host an open house. Does anybody have anything? Right? Some people are busy and they can't do it, or they end up with 3 or 4 or 5 listings. You can only be in so many places at once. And then I don't have any signs yet. You can get generic signs. If you're hosting one, people aren't going to call you from the, hey, open house that way sign. Likely, yes, that's branding. Yes, that's recognition. But whoever you're hosting the open house for, likely, or chances are they have open house signs for you. But if you'd like to have some of your own branded ones, right, so promote yourself, call a sign company, all around, get a few quotes. But the coroplast ones with the little metal frames that stick in the ground, in this case, time of year, I mean the snowbanks, they're not too bad. Call them probably between 20 and 40 bucks each or something like that. An A-frame might be more like the metal A-frames, or you can get cardboard construction, the material. Plywood ones, laminated. Anyway, there's a few different kinds. They vary in cost, but if you spend $200, you could probably get at least half a dozen signs that you can promote, and that's your picture up there, right? Or your branding. I might not know the answers to the questions visitors have. If you're holding an open house for someone else's listing, chances are you don't know everything about this listing. You're not as intimately familiar with it. So get familiar. Take the time to ask the questions. Think about what are the most, what are the most common questions received at an open house? What do people ask at an open house? And so learn everything you can about the listing, the neighborhood, and do some of that research so that when you go, you are prepared. Like, what are the taxes? And don't just show up with a bunch of printed listings and don't just show up without preparation. Be as familiar with it as you can. Things like, how old is the roof? Well, hey, you know what? I prepared an information sheet. And I might not get through all these slides because I'm just going to give a lot of what I have. And then if we get through, we get through. So I've been that agent who, oh my gosh, life is busy. And all I do is print out some black and white feature sheets. And I show up at the open house 5 minutes before. And when people come in, I know a decent amount. I can read most of it there. But there are other things like, how old is the roof? And it's not always on the listing sheet. And I've gone to some open houses where I've chatted with other agents who do things completely differently. They have this little first-time home buyers packet. They have a downsizers pack. Maybe they're doing a condo or a bungalow, and they have a package that they can give people for downsizing. But on either one of those, what you could have is a top 20 features about this home, or things you might want to know about this home. You know, the roof was done this year, the furnace, the AC, the hot water tank is owned, by the way, and these are the taxes, and whatever. You can have some of those things, like separate entrance was done 2020 and with a permit, right? Like things like that. So be prepared and prepare something for them, because that, whether it's on a letterhead, printed off on your home computer, it doesn't have to be glossy and expensive, but it's a little extra step that the other agents aren't necessarily doing. And when neighbors come to the open house, which invariably happens, and perhaps they're looking at potentially moving, they see how professional you are and how professionally you hold open the open house. So it sets you apart from, hey, come on in, show yourself around, right? And then open houses don't really work because most people look online. It's true, people will look online first to determine if they want to go in. And so, open houses aren't always as busy as they were, but sometimes they're busier than they were. So what I find is a lot of Toronto agents, they may or may not have anything signed with the buyers, but they'll send their buyers up, or the buyers will just come up. They don't want to bother their agent. They'll just go shop around. They're driving around the neighborhood. I have a client who I met at an open house last summer. Kept in touch. Follow-up's important. But I kept in touch, checked in. It was no pressure because she was a widow and she expressed very much that wasn't really sure what she wanted to do. But next time I talk, did you want to be on a search? Sure, sounds good. And like, if you have any interest in any properties, anything you see, like, let me know. I'd be happy to show it to you, knowing that, no pressure, right? Knowing that you're not really seriously considering moving yet, but I'd be happy to show you something. And she ended up asking, she's like, is there an easier way to see what's having an open house? So I did a quick search for her. I said, sent her, here's a list of properties in Barrie that are doing open house. Like, she just did not want to bother me. And that was like, she wasn't a client yet. She wasn't signed yet, right? She was a free agent. And going into open houses where there are other agents trying to say, I want your business. But I don't know, I just felt like we had a good connection, and I just, you know what, if it happens, it happens. And so she did. And said, hey, Guy, I really like this one. Anyway, long story short, she now lives there, closed January 31st, and her home in Brampton sold, closed that February 4th. So that was like a 6 to 8 month turnaround. And the follow-up was really important, how I followed up, just recognizing where she was at. But they work. They work. They definitely work. And then I won't feel safe. So that's very possible. Like, I've never felt that way, but I don't get scared about anything in general. I wasn't a nervous driver, for instance. I just, whatever, let's go do it. What are you worried about? Let's go. However, I recognize that our safety, I'm not at all to discount it, our safety, your safety is very important. So what I would suggest is have a partner, whether it's a mortgage broker. So it's another professional that's in our industry that can provide actually more service and more benefit to the people who come and visit. It's also someone who can help monitor the house. So say it's a busy open house. You've got somebody that comes in and you'll introduce them to that person. And okay, hey, I'll give you a tour, right? And they've maybe got some information about what it would take to mortgage this house. Now you're in the basement with them, and someone else comes in. But someone else to help manage traffic as well. And chances are nothing's going to happen if there's someone else who's there with you. So, but that's legitimate concern. You can have someone kind of check on you. I mean, you could have a friend, just anybody, spouse, partner, another realtor in the office, like, just pretending that they're visiting or visiting the open house. Just, yeah, they could just be a client visiting the open house. Oh, do you have any more questions? Like, oh, yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Like, whatever, right? So, but they're there, and unless you're like, it's when you're alone that someone's likely going to do something. So, so you can have someone to hang out with, and then, oh, someone's coming. Go pretend you were checking things out. So anyway, any more ideas? Then
I actually wondered that because my daughter is she wants to be in real estate too.
Okay, yeah.
She's almost 17, and she is like, can I come with you to the open houses? So it's really good. Is it okay for her? Like, would it
well,
be
just
age?
honestly, just double check with the sellers, make sure they don't mind.
Yeah.
I'm sure she wouldn't be a disruptive,
No,
but she could be like,
she's very.
she just cannot answer questions, right? I think that stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
But she could be an assistant. She can help with gathering info, helping people sign in, whatever. If you're offering refreshments, hey, can I get you something?
Yeah, that's what she's
Totally.
wondering if she could do.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I've had my son at open houses, rarely, but it was summer and he sat in the backyard under a canopy and played on an iPad. Yeah. Did I go twice? Okay. Open houses, who benefits? The sellers, they get some exposure. They also feel like we are doing something to promote their house, right? The buyers benefit, right? Their agents are busy, whatever, they're just doing their research, so they haven't committed to an area yet, so they're checking things out. So they benefit without having to, bug anybody. The neighbors benefit because they were curious about different decorating ideas, and hey, we have the same house. How did they do their kitchen? So they benefit, as well as they can benefit from meeting you and meeting a new real estate professional that can advise them about their futures. And then we, the agent, benefit a number of ways. So the exposure, right, of having an open house, so you have more people to meet. Your open house signs are now not just in front of the house, but get a dozen of them and scatter them around. They're on busy streets. So your brand recognition, the more of these you do, will increase. The leads that we generate, of course, during the open house are good. And there's a few other ways, but those are the people who benefit. It's all here. So it's inexpensive, really. Signs are the biggest expense. You kind of do, I shouldn't say you do it once. They do get damaged. You kind of forget them on a corner here and there. Snow plow takes them out. Whatever happens, the ones you stick in, it's cheap metal and it's soldered or whatever, and those break. Hey, Vitaly. But anyway, so that's that. It's a good prospecting tool. The return on investment. So, a lady that I helped buy a house on the widow, 2-3 hours, set up signs, 2 hours there, take down the signs, follow up with other people. So 3-4 hours, but I might have spent 10 hours doing that particular open house. I did multiple ones at that property, but that particular day, meeting her, following up with her, and like the return, she bought something that was $850. She sold something that was $745 at full 2.5% commission on my end on both of those. Like, it was like, return on investment's pretty good, right? So, hey, not every open house is going to generate a deal within 6 months. Some of them, it's just going to be you and the four walls. However, when it works, it works. So if I look at all of the hours that I spent in open houses last year, say I did 25 open houses at 4 hours each, 100 hours to get this one lead. It's kind of worth it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, and then the qualified leads. So who's coming to the open houses? Who are these leads that are qualified? Well, they're buyers who are in 3 different phases of, they're just looking, they're now researching, they're kind of serious, or they're like, I need a house soon. I'm ready to go. My house down wherever sold and we're wanting to buy a house. So they're qualified generally and ready to go. Okay, so set goals and be purposeful. And what do I mean by that? So if you look at the best practices with an open house, it's not just on Saturday or Sunday. It's a whole open house prospecting plan. And let me just see if I can stop share this real quick. Because I was just open house. Yeah. Let me see. Are you seeing my whole screen? No. Okay. Never mind. I'm not going to share it. I'll just explain it because I realize I'm sharing on a different computer than my laptop. So I'm having 4x6 open house cards printed, and it just will list tomorrow. I'll have them printed by the end of the day tomorrow, and I will door knock the neighborhood with them. So this is what I mean by goals. So, hey, one thing is how many houses around this property do I want to door knock? Do I want to circle prospect? And that's one method of prospecting around the neighborhood. So I could door knock 10 to the left, 10 to the right, and 10 across the street. That could be a goal. So you set a goal, door knock, circle prospect 10 by 10 by 10. You could do that. I'm printing 100 because I feel like between the end of day tomorrow and snowy day Friday, I should be able to get 100 in the neighborhood. They're not townhouses, so they're kind of 40-foot lots, right? 40, 50-foot lots. And I can't go across the yards because it's snow, so it'll take longer. Yeah. The other thing that I can and will do is I have an auto dialer and a subscription with telelisting is I will pull up a radius around the house of home phones and I'll do some cold calls. So, hey, by the way, just want to let you know, we just listed a home around the corner from you at 40 Belcourt. We're actually having an open house this weekend. I would love for you and anyone you know who'd like to move to the area to visit it. It'd be great to meet you. And that starts a conversation. Oh, cool. Like what house? And that's for clarification. And somewhere in that conversation, you're going to say, how about you? Have you considered selling? Right. So you can do that. So setting goals of how many houses do I want to knock? How many doors do I want to knock? How many dials do I want to make? Do I have hours? Like, hey, how many hours do I actually want to prospect? Right? At the open house. So do I want to do 2 hours one day? There have been studies by some large real estate training companies that they researched whether it's better to do Sunday or Saturday, or if you do Saturday, does it still make sense to do Sunday or vice versa? In fact, they determined that doing both days, especially on the opening weekend, makes the most sense. So not everybody's available Saturday. They're busy doing whatever, but they wanted to come, so they come Saturday, Sunday, or vice versa. So it's not like you get the same people, or you get, hey, say there were 10 people available to come over the whole weekend. It's not like you got 5 and 5, or all of them on one day. Not all 10 come on Saturday. You maybe only got 4 or 6, but then you've got the remainder the other day. So if possible, hold both, right? So maybe that's my goal. Again, sellers don't always like open houses, but when you can help them understand the value of it, then yeah, okay, let's do one or two. And sometimes I've done 12 to 4. Like, I don't have any others to do. I'm here anyway. If nobody comes, I can make cold calls. I can do follow-up calls. I can do real estate stuff still. But if they do come, like, you're busy. So those are a few things. You could also do like a neighborhood only open house, so an exclusive. And the one across the street from the one I'm listing, I did that, and it was Thursday nights are better than Friday nights. People go away. Depending what time of year, maybe you want it 6 o'clock, especially people commute here, right? So say 6 to 6:30 or 7:30, 6 to 8, hors d'oeuvres or something pretty light, crackers, cheese, Perrier, different schools of thought as far as alcohol is concerned. So you could do a wine and cheese, you could do champagne, whatever. So depending on the neighborhood and depending on the house, that kind of thing makes sense. And beauty of that is you're getting to meet and intimately get to know all the other neighbors. And those neighbors may come just because, hey, free food, curious, right? The same reasons they come to a normal open house, but you get to spend time with them, and they'll stay because they're chatting with the other neighbors and they're seeing this extra bit of effort you put into promoting the house, but you get to chat with them, and you know that they're not likely buying this one. They live next door.
Yeah.
And if they came during a normal open house and you knew that they were a neighbor and they're not buying this one, and another person came through and they live in Toronto and they're looking at this house, you're going to talk to this person and you're going to ignore the neighbor. So it gives you an opportunity to do that. So that could be a goal: host a neighborhood open house. It's hard to set a goal as far as how many people will show up. One of the other things is, so it really comes down to, how do I promote it? Facebook post, right? Maybe I'm creating an event on Facebook and I'm sharing that with friends who I know live kind of nearby, and definitely the sellers, they can promote it as well. So maybe I'm promoting or creating an event on Facebook. Maybe I'm promoting, like doing an actual post. maybe it's on my personal page as well as Instagram, as well as my business page. And, you know, do you have a goal to boost it? Am I going to run an ad? So on through command, we can do an ad on Facebook, right? And they're fairly easy to do. Spend $20, $30, whatever. For instance, if I'm going to do one for this listing, I can create a promoted post. So just a post and promote it. Or once it's live on the MLS, I can just pull the info from that and promote it. And promoting a new listing is different than promoting an open house because of the timing. And when the ad goes out, it usually goes out for a period of time. Well, it doesn't matter if people see it on Monday, right? They need to see it before the open house, preferably Friday. All of it should go Friday, maybe Saturday. So past tense, I suppose, you know, newspaper ads, but however you might want to promote it, think of goals, think of what you would do there. So those are a few ideas. Any other questions so far? Any questions online? I just needed to catch my breath. Oh, okay, sorry, pick the house. I thought I had to make up all this stuff by myself. Just kidding. Prepare and practice. Oh, it's my, there's something on my screen. It was asking if I was trying to talk because I'm muted on my computer. So prepare and practice. There are scripts for open houses. There are, you know, form, for instance, friends, occupation, recreation, motivation, or dreams board. So how do you make small talk? How do you take a visitor from, hey, can I get you to sign in, to, hey, can I follow up with you? And I'd love to be your realtor, right? Like, how do you move from this to that? And there are scripts out there. So how to prepare for that? It's really just practice, find the scripts. Buffini, I think if you go on YouTube, Brian Buffini has a good open house script. And it's just a video to a two-way conversation of how you interact with someone. But what I would talk about is like, hey, you know, like the first thing I always ask is like, thank you so much for coming. Before we kind of get started with our tour, do you mind signing in, or can I get you to sign in? And while they're doing that, it's usually one person doing that, and then someone else standing there with them, partner, spouse, whatever. And so I'll ask the other person, you know, whereabouts you guys coming from? You know, about the weather, whatever. But like, I kind of want to get to the point quickly, but nicely. I don't want to, hey, when are you buying this house? Right? But asking them things like, hey, whereabouts you coming from? Are you from the area? No, we're from Toronto. Oh, okay, great. How was the traffic? Great, good. And have you been looking for a while? Right? Oh, what's your search? What's your experience been so far searching for a house? And you kind of got to get in there somewhere. Like, oh, who's been helping you with your search, or are you searching on your own? And that's kind of an important question. In that, they might be searching on their own, and you really should ask a follow-up question. There is oh great, you know, are you, like, is this a family friend, or is this someone you've worked with in the past? Like, are you pretty loyal to this agent? And you'll be surprised. The question. Oh, absolutely. We love them. We'd never go with anyone else. We've used them multiple times. Friend of the family, whatever it might be. Like, never. Okay, cool. But if you say like, hey, have you signed with your agent? Most of the time they'll say no. So do you have an agent? Yes. Have you signed with them? No. Okay. Would you be curious to hear how I work a little differently? And then you have to determine for yourself and be able to explain to them at another point, I think later, how you're different, right? What makes you different, and why would they want to choose you over this person they've already kind of selected? So anyway, scripts, questions to ask them. Questions are the most important thing. The more questions you ask, the more info you get from them, and the easier it is to then be able to provide something to them. Okay, pick the time. That's easy. I would say 11 to 1 is a little less common. But if you want to squeak in 3 in one day, which is crazy, 11 to 1, 1 to 3, and 3 to 5. Typically, though, if you want to do 2 and you want to give yourself a decent buffer to get from one to the other, and if they're not all next door to each other, you could do 11 to 1 and then a 2 to 4. But most common, we're going to do 1 a day. 12 to 2, 1 to 3, and 2 to 4. Those are the common times. And I wouldn't say one necessarily works better than others, other than Sunday probably started at 1. People go to church still, not the majority, but there's something around that lunchtime on Sunday, or they're just later rising on Sunday, or they have fewer sports and activities and things that they're doing, so it later seems to work better. Stats. So some information about average prices in the area might be helpful to have there prepared. Remember, I kind of talked about a package. So here are the, within the last 2-3 months, here are the previous few homes that have sold, average days on market, a few things like that would be helpful. And I'll just see what this next one is. Be safe. There you go. So on the prepare stats, you can also prepare for the after open house. So let's say you were doing an open house from 1 to 3. Carve out an hour from your schedule. Like, don't book anything until 4, say, personally. Because if there was someone who was like hot to trot and they really want a house, and there were 3 or 4 other listings nearby that are somewhat similar in a somewhat similar price range, and you booked yourself ahead of time an agent preview or 15-minute showing, you could do a half an hour showing. And even if no one is interested, you should still go. And if you don't, make sure you cancel them. Mm-hmm. You don't want to complain. But showing yourself as the expert in the area. Oh yeah, like, hey, if my first priority is to find someone to buy this house, and I'd love for you to be that person. However, this isn't the house for you. I just want you to know that I'm very familiar with the area, and I'm actually going to show like 4 houses just around the neighborhood. I've booked them for myself to preview. But if you'd like to come with me and get a private tour, I'd be happy to do that and bring you along. So that's an above and beyond type of thing. Life doesn't always work out that way, but again, it's part of this prepare, right? Set goals. So as the stats, what's active in the area, and you could book those with you as well. Okay. In the private KW chat, for instance, we also talk about exclusive listings that people have signed as exclusive. They're exclusive to the brokerage. So ask around, hey, I'm listing something. I'm doing an open house here. Does anybody have any listings around that area or around that price point that I might share with the open house guests, right? Or at least about a few. Say, hey, we have access to a lot of off-market listings. Oh my God. It's like people just love, what? You can get me something that's not on the MLS? And you can. So again, turn on all the lights. No real COVID guidelines, I don't think, unless your clients have specific something they want you to do. Entrances, exits, make sure they're all accessible and clear and whatever. Arrive early. So if you're like bags under your arm trying to open the door and stuff, and it's like right on time or a little late, and someone's waiting to come in, like, they're not standing behind you trying to get in, and like you can't watch them. You can't see them coming to the front door. You can't judge them whether they're safe or not, safe looking or not. Anyway, so and the buddy system, kind of mentioned that before. Street. Yeah. Okay. So the difference between big and really big is how you manage your time and focus. And so some of those tips and additional above and beyond things that I shared, that takes time to, like, you either create, and you should, create an open house guideline. This is my checklist. These are the things in a perfect world I will be doing for every open house. And an open house happens Saturday or Sunday, but we're planning it well before that, right? We're promoting it on Facebook before that. We're confirming that clients that time works, right? We're doing printing, if we're doing door knocking, we need those printed probably before Thursday. Like, I'm a bit behind the ball, but our photos aren't done yet. It's happened today, right? I won't get them till tomorrow. So I did some cell phone ones just to get a little pictures on a postcard. But focus your time, focus the plan, and then implement the plan. Prepare, prospect, pursue. Okay, so these are the next few things. Most of the work for the open houses is done before, so we've already covered all this. I mean, slides. Just kidding. So remember the limiting beliefs, that slide that I talked about before, right? So that's mindset. That's a limiting mindset, and I think if you went around and asked every agent who's been in the business for 5 to 10 years and said, hey, tell me about your most successful open house. And if that filled up all of the information in your brain about open houses, you'd be like, oh man, I can't wait to do an open house, right? Open houses are amazing. Think of the crazy clients. Like, Geesh made almost 40 grand from an open house. Like, it's insane. So work on your mindset, okay? And then practice those conversations. And I have 2 kids. They're wonderful. They're busy. And like Saturday, I'm doing 11 to 1 because my son's at Scouts, like Cub Cars, Scout trucks. In the morning, I'm going to leave early to do the open house. And then I'm going to leave right after to go coach a soccer. Right? Someone else is bringing him there from Scouts. And my daughter Saturday is at a dance competition. So I'll go tomorrow morning, Friday morning, because I'll miss Saturday. And then open housing Sunday because I'm going to miss that. So my mindset could be like, fucking open houses, I miss all their stuff. Or it's a rush to get back and forth. Or it's, I'm glad I was able to take the morning off Friday and go see her dance to free me up from this. And I'm glad I was able to fit it in between soccer and Scout trucks. And I really am looking forward to meeting someone like Kim, who will benefit from my empathy and my patience and lack of pressure in her trepidation towards making a move from a home her husband died in, right? So I can't wait to meet that next client. I can't wait to meet the person who is just going to benefit from having met me, right? And man, I can't wait to help these people sell their house. So the mindset is important, and you have to kind of prepare that and put yourself in the right frame of mind beforehand, but definitely there, because you might show up like, oh my gosh, I'm glad I made it. You gotta take a deep breath, get yourself set up, and get yourself in the right frame of mind. I just realized all you could see was my forehead. Okay, so the week before, here it is printed out. I talked about some of this. So you've got the house now on Tuesday. So if you want to take a screenshot of this or take a picture, feel free. I don't think you guys get this email to you. Walk the neighborhood, invite neighbors to showing. Wednesday, post online again, install the yard sign. Actually did that today. The yard sign, at least, and online will be happening after this.
So the yard sign would say like open on Saturday? Or...
Yeah, so you have the for sale sign, and then there's a popper that goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Saturday 1 to 3 or whatever it might be. Yeah. Post online again, invite your database. Who knows? So your database could be vast. It could be 100 people. It could just be your Facebook friends. Like, your database is more than just who you have in command, right? But if you want to post it on Facebook and then just invite 10 friends, I have in my database a tag that I put as East End Farm. I live in the East End. We do life there. Kids go to school there. A lot of our friends are their friends' parents. So we ski with them, we do sports with a lot of them. We're out in the neighborhood, we're dropping off, picking up kids from their houses, and a prospect or door knock, or have listings in the area, walk the dog in the area, right? So I have a tag in my database of people I know who are in the East End, and a lot of. If I just went through my Facebook friends and I had an open house, I could share it to people I know live in the East End, right? So, hey, it might not be for you, but curious if you know anyone who might like to come check out this listing. I'm doing an open house Saturday and Sunday. Find your database and then post online again, prepare the market, stats, print flyers, door knock. So Friday, now I have an office here and my open house signs, my printer, I have one at home as well, but if I forget the open house signs on Friday, I'm driving from the East End back here to pick them up to go up, right? So to get everything prepared on Friday, Saturday doesn't, like, you're not stressed, you're just ready. All you have to do is kind of go. But that's the week leading up to the open house. Here are some of those questions. You mentioned they'll ask a lot of questions in the open house, or they might have questions. So one of the things you can prepare, and that's the last one there on Friday, is prepare market stats, print flyers. Many mortgage agents will be happy to prepare a feature sheet, a one-pager that says, like, hey, this $800,000, I'm going to say $500,000 house, 5% down minimum, right, would be $25,000. That's a minimum down payment. And this is based on, rates today, what mortgage would look like for 25-year. It has to be 25-year or 5% with less than 20% down. Then you could say 10, 15, and 20. So they can put it together for you with all the monthly costs, like the taxes, mortgage, average heat, hydro, that kind of thing. They can prepare a feature sheet. So you can have that. First-time buyer specifics, relocation information. KW is building a KW relocation wing or branding, but like depending on where you're doing a relocation or an open house, that might not be pertinent. In the East End, something I might prepare would be like, if people are coming from Toronto, for instance, they have no idea what's in the neighborhood.
Mhm.
So, hey, the local school is Steele Street Elementary School, and there's a Catholic elementary school down the road, St. Monica's, and we have Eastview Secondary School, and there's an arena right beside that Eastview. There's a great plaza right there, and right at pickleball courts at the park, right? Like, you just know everything about the neighborhood. So some of the best features about the neighborhood. We're 10-minute drive to the Allendale GO station. 7-minute drive to downtown. You can walk there in 25 minutes, right? Like, whatever right? Whatever you think might be a selling feature to the neighborhood, you can prepare that as well. Okay, so prospect, build and trust rapport, provide value, capture information, qualify leads. Don't happen with me. Let me just see real quick if I can stop share. Come on. Stop share. I don't know if I clicked. Wow. It didn't work. Okay. I'll just pop onto my laptop for a quick second. It's already 6:30.
Yeah. 6:20. Oh, no, that was fast. It's only 7.
I know.
That's really
I told you we'd be here till 8.
fast.
Oh, that's not what I wanted. There we go. I'm going to share, I think I can, from my laptop. There we go. See that okay? Kind of small. So this is a sign-in sheet that I use. Oh, you can't see it because you can't see that. I'll share it with you guys after. But can you see it online?
Yeah, we can see it, or I can see it.
Okay, perfect. So look closely. So the phone number, email, current address, first and last name. I mean, if they give me all of that, that's more than I ever used to ask. I love it. Hey, current address, because when they finish filling it out, you can ask them like, oh, like, do you own or rent here, right? Anyway, and then how did you hear about the open house? They'll say MLS, drove by, whatever. If it's like MLS versus drove by, you know they're more motivated, they're more qualified than, oh, just happened to see the sign. They don't even know what price it is. They just saw the sign, right? When are you thinking about buying or selling? 0 to 6 months, 6 months to a year, when I find the right one. You're currently working with a realtor. Have you signed? Have you spoken with a mortgage specialist? If yes, are you pre-approved? And then can we assist you in securing a complimentary mortgage? I got this from another agent, and they do mortgages as well, but you don't have to. You don't have to do that. Okay, let's see. Uh-oh. Give me a sec. Try to get back here. Do you guys want to take a real quick break? You're fine? Okay. I might run in a minute just to grab some more water. Entire screen. That one. Awesome. I'm back. Okay, everybody can see that? Okay. Okay, so capturing their info and qualifying the leads. So getting their info and then asking those questions. That particular sheet asks the right questions. And if they say, yes, I'm working with a realtor, I'll often ask who, right? Who you're working with. Half the time they don't know that. Who you're working with qualifies how close that relationship is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my Aunt Wendy. Okay. Or they literally can't remember 50% of the time their first name or which company they work with, just so you know. Yeah. And build trust and rapport. So greet everyone who comes to the door. Hey, thanks so much for coming. Welcome. Come on in. Take your shoes off. And right, happy, really excited to meet them. Engage in conversation. We talked about that already. Definitely be positive. Provide value. So either know your stats, or if you don't have enough of your own stats, and now, so yeah, ask Dave at the office or Heather. They'll have stats that you can share about the brokerage. Well, hey, because you were part of the KW team, we sold however many listings last month. We have however many agents working to help promote all of our listings. And right, you could use the words we until you are where you want to be. Okay? Understand personality types. So this is a discussion perhaps, but for sure for another day. Lots of other training, lots of other different schools of thought with, like, say, the DISC profile, Myers-Briggs, things like that, colors. If that's all new to you, D might be your driven, your go-getter kind of person, your eyes, the gregarious person, the life of the party. As soon as they enter the door, everyone knows it and can't wait. Like, does not want them to leave because it makes it just so much more fun. Except for, the introverted S, who's like your lovey-dovey, like the mom type of, whatever, long-lasting relationships. And then the C is the clerical kind of person who likes all of the details. That'll be the person who comes into the open house and wants to know what the taxes are, when the furnace was replaced, when the roof was done, how old are the windows, how long have they lived here, why are they moving? Like, every question you can think of. I'm more the IS. So that empathy I talked about, that's my S coming out and just being there, being patient. And part of my D is like, when does this person buy a house, right? That the D is your impatient. Anyway, so we can have a whole conversation. There's courses and courses. And you probably did one when you might have done a KPA, right? That crazy long assessment. There might have been a DISC profile questionnaire that came with that or in conjunction with that. If not, if you're interested, you can talk to Dave, probably get one done for yourself. And the descriptions of who you are based on how you answer this, like, have you been spying on me, right? Like, it's so accurate. Anyway, but if you know personality types, you know, the person who's a D, they do not want all the fluff. So when they come into your open house, you'll be able to slowly understand what type they are and how they want to be treated based on how they're asking questions or coming in and presenting themselves. So the better you are at knowing how people are, the better you'll be able to be the person they need to be. You need to kind of change based on them, right? They don't want to have big, long, fun conversation with me. Just want to get in, get out to the next one. So what was the last one? Sorry, I missed that. Have something to offer visitors. Brochure, could be a cookie, like just have something to offer. Okay. Capture information. So a sign-in sheet, for sure. You can do it through command, the KW app. Technology can fail. I've done it on a tablet where it goes right into BombBomb, which is something that's another add-on program, not affiliated with KW necessarily. But remember why we're there. We're there to get leads and appointments. So unless we get their information, and they're not going to book an appointment with you unless they're nearby, unless you're really good, and unless they're motivated and in the market soon. If they are, it's possible you can get yourself to an appointment at their house in an hour after the open house. That's very possible, or the next day or something like that. But they would need to be motivated and really thinking seriously about making a move. So, but remember, you're there to get their info and pursue. So follow up and convert the leads after the open house, right? Likely you're not getting that appointment at the open house. So you've got the sheet of paper with all their info. Don't do what I do. Please don't do what I do. Get them in your database that day, if possible. If you wait till Monday, Monday has its own things happening. So take that half an hour and add them to your database. Another thing I'll do, so let's say someone comes in at 1:10 and they leave at 1:20, and now I'm waiting. I can put them in my database right there, right then. I can add them all their information. I can make notes. Now, because everything I know about them is fresh in my mind. I know things that are just for you. So, okay, they were an Asian couple. They had 2 kids, a boy and a girl. The girl had pigtails, or like whatever you remember. They're moving from Mississauga. They want to be in a house before the next school term, or they, everything you know can go in there and it's fresh in your mind. If you don't have internet or access at the time, or it's too difficult, turn that sheet of paper over and write as many notes as you can so that when you get home, office, whatever, to a computer, you can add that stuff. Okay. But the more complete your database is with their info, and then what I do, especially if I have a bit of downtime, most of the phone numbers they're giving you very likely is going to be a cell phone. I'll text them. Hey, so-and-so, thank you so much for visiting the open house at 40 Belcourt. Oh, that's my new listing, by the way. I really enjoyed meeting you and your family, or you and your spouse, like whatever their name might be, if you know that. If you have any questions about the house or the neighborhood, I'm here to help, right? And after the open house, depending on the weather, if it's -40, don't take half an hour in your car, but you could take 10, 20 minutes in your car and call them. Hey, I'm not sure I just want to make sure you got my text. Make sure you got the right number, the information was correct, read back their email address, and you may or may not leave a voicemail if they don't pick up, but you could say, hey, I'll follow up with you on Monday. hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Whatever. Don't hound them. And then Monday, call them again, text them again. So that the follow up with everybody is important. Reevaluate your goals you set. Did you succeed? What changes will you make for next time? So just a term we use in scouting because it's youth led and we want to build them up as leaders. Anyways, plan, do, review. Right? Make a plan, you do it. What went well? What might it change? And okay, so that's much better. Okay, so open houses, benefits, best practices, and then prepare, prospect, and pursue. So that is a recap for open houses. Any questions? No? Beat open houses to death? And so I engage in every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relationship with me. So this would be considered an affirmation, right? Remember we talked about mindset earlier. What's your mindset going into this activity? And so before your open house, if you're in a lull, hey, I engage in every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relationship with me. There you go. So let's see. I think this should just go right on into the next one. Okay, so I'll try to go a little quicker, and maybe I'll just go through the slides more and talk less. It takes time to learn something, more time to implement it, and even longer to approach mastery of it. I heard a quote recently from a book called The 5 a.m. Club. I'm not in the club yet, by the way. Change is hard at the beginning, messy in the middle, and beautiful at the end, or something like that. Yeah, so it's like, it takes time, but yeah. All right, so this is social media, I believe 10.5.1 engagement system. So social media, Facebook, who uses it? Yeah. So 10.5.1, and it's about expanding your sphere of influence. Facebook, all social platforms have an algorithm. They change them all the time. So knowing what they are honestly doesn't really help, but the organic activity you get is really based on other people's engagement with you. Now, most of what you see on your feed is going to be promoted, sponsored crap. Half the times it's not stuff you're interested in, right? However, the posts you do see from people who are on your friends list, or they'll be on people who are friends with your friends, okay? And the more of your stuff that's shown on other people's feed will be based on how often or how well how closely Facebook sees that you are engaged with that person, or they are engaged with you. Because they, and Google especially, but they want to provide information that is in line with your interests, right? And that they feel is pertinent to you and something you're interested in. They want you on their platform longer, if possible. So as you're going through, you scroll down, say 1 out of every 4 posts is someone on your list, right? Friends list. And you can do one of these few activities. So like, comment, and creating an original post. Okay, so the 10 and the 5, that's 10 likes. So that's an easy one. Click the like button, or if you hold it down, it's like love or laugh, right? So engage with it that way. It's a quick and easy one. The other 5 are comments. So make sure your comments are a minimum of 3 words. Otherwise, it has less value. And make sure you don't sound like a robot. Okay, so realistically, because the scrolling part takes a little longer to find something, and find something from someone that you actually know. But don't be so picky that you just take forever to get them. But so 10 and 5 comments. So comments are someone's probably showing something about their vacation. That might be depressing. You see everyone else on vacation, but oh my goodness, wish I was there. Or what a beautiful sunset. How long are you guys gone for? hey, let's have coffee when you're back, or like whatever, right? Some sort of comment. Yeah, go ahead. And then the original post. So
Well,
creating one post that's original, and the post personal versus business. So you want to have 80% of your posts being personal. What are some quick ideas? The snow, maybe you're up on the roof, someone else is up on the roof, you're taking a picture of a darn icicle. Hey, anyone else suffering from? Do you know anybody? Like asking people's opinion on something. Hey, looking for a plumber. Like those ones are great, and that also helps build your business database of potential service providers. But does anyone know a plumber? Does anyone know a good electrician? Hey, where's the best place to go out for dinner, right? Like, so whatever, any suggestions for downtown Barrie? What about South Barrie? Like, right? And so those will get a lot of engagement. So that's all personal, super personal. And then 20% business. Hey, just listed such and such. I just showed a really cool house, whatever. Might be some tips about staging or how to prepare your home. Provide some value, right? Think of contribution first. Okay. The 80%. So personal things are like pets, arts, cooking, exercise, outdoor, live music. There might be something happening in the area, team sports. And then the 20% is, hey, new listing, got an open house this weekend. Hey, I got an award, or I'm speaking. I should get you to take my picture. Yeah, I will. And then going above and beyond. So 10% community service. So this is not adding up to 100, right? It's 110%. So community service. So you might promote a charity event. You might have, I'm just trying to think if they've got ideas. No. Okay. Anyway, just something that supports the community. Public service announcements. Hey, did you know such and such road is going to be closed? Maybe there's a dog shelter or something that's raising money. Any of those kinds of things. So then when we look at strategies, you want to connect with people you know already. Hey, they want you to succeed. They love saying, I have a friend in real estate. And when you do talk to them in person, they'll ask you about real estate because they're like, hey, I see you're really busy. I see you're doing a lot of stuff. Like, hey, good work, whatever. Like, it happens. So, and post about your neighborhood. Remember, I talked about like East End, and that's where I do life, right? Kids, it's all happening there. And so when I post about my neighborhood, in the East Enders, there's an actual Facebook group specifically for Ward 1, like our part of town. And, engaging with those posts helps me be viewed by people who live in that area as well. Use images. Video realistically is way better even than images. I'm just going to go back quickly for you there. So 20% business and 80% personal. So post mostly about these kinds of things.
Okay.
Like your life, things you're doing, active, whatever. And then listings, open house, awards, and things like that for business. And this is like social charities. Somebody's raising money, dog shelter, or whatever. This is going above and beyond, doing a post on something like that. Okay. Congratulate new homeowners, right? So having a post, a picture, someone with a sold sign. Again, Kim, the widow, does not like to, I don't want to be all over social media. I get it, no problem. She was getting closer to closing. Hey, I forgot to send you that picture. Here's your picture. Hey, that's a really nice picture, by the way. Are you sure you don't want me to put on Facebook? Oh, that's a really nice picture, by the way. Thank you so much for your trust. I really appreciated the opportunity to work with you, and I'm really glad to have you in our town. And I'm sure this home will really be great for the next part of your life. And if you don't, are you sure you don't want it on Facebook? And she said, oh, you know what? Actually, you can put it up. Just don't tag me or anything. Okay, cool. So picture with her and her daughter in the sold sign. A nice write-up about how blessed and honored I was to be able to work with her. A little bit about what this move meant, right? Being closer to family and out of a busy town, you know, moving out of Brampton, like that kind of thing. That's, excuse me, cough first, beer after. So that's a kind of post you might do. Yeah, what else? One more post about listings, engage. Oh, if you don't have a listing, right? I don't have a listing to promote. Okay, well, hey, I've got a listing. I'd love for you to promote it. So other agents in the office would probably not care if you promoted their listing. Ultimately, we want those listings to sell when many aren't selling or they're taking a longer time to sell.
I have a question for you.
Mhm.
On Realm, you can copy any listing or send it right to Facebook. Are you allowed to do that?
Yes and no. Yes, if. So if it's an office listing, well, depending, because we have designated representative and we have brokerage representative. If the listing is a brokerage representation, then yes, technically anybody in the brokerage
Right.
is the owner of that listing. I do mine as designated rep, so that if you brought a buyer, it's not multiple rep. So you'd have to ask my permission. And any listing, do you need to get some water? You're not bothering me. I'm just like,
You gave it to me.
yeah, you're welcome. So, and even if it's a broker's listing, out of courtesy, hey, Guy, do you mind if I promote your listing? No, go ahead. Like, please, right?
Because I follow a group and he posts all over Ontario places that have workshops. And he's just constantly posting, here's a listing in Sudbury. Look at the great workshop it has. Here's a listing. Still.
Yeah.
So I was like, I love that niche type thing. How is he getting all those listings?
He may be getting permission. Is he advertising, promoting? I'd have to double check and get some clarity on exactly
Or just-
how.
Just
Because
in the gray area.
in a listing, when you sign a listing, there's a checkbox, is permission, contact to advertise,
Right.
yes or no. Like if I don't want other agents contacting me from Toronto to advertise, because what it looks like is, hey, I have a listing and they're just trying to get the buyers,
Yeah.
right? They're using my listing as a lead generation tool. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, go get your own damn listing.
Yeah.
But if you're in my brokerage, like I want to help you.
Mhm.
If you're some other agent anywhere, like I don't really care to help you necessarily.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, we want them to sell. So I would start with the brokerage with listings. And where would you like a listing? Where would be the ideal place for you to get a listing tomorrow?
I don't know.
Near your house. Perhaps, maybe even near your work.
Yeah,
But-
that's what, most of my connections are near my work, not
Right.
near my house, but
Let's say you start making a couple $100,000 a year or more. Are you going to continue teaching or be
no.
there? Okay, so do you want your business being all
No.
over there? No, you want it close to
Yeah.
your house, right? In town anyway. So find a few listings that are within 15-minute drive, so anywhere in Barrie, of your
Yeah.
home, and in a specific price point, style, area you'd like to really focus on, and ask the listing agent if they would mind if you advertise that on Facebook.
Yeah.
Just ask them.
Okay.
And you'll find enough agents in the office also. Yeah, sure, please.
Mhm.
Go ahead. So once you've posted about the listing, engage with comments and things like that. Highlight your business. So when you're doing your business posts, think about hyper-local information. So like talk about local restaurants, talk about some of the service providers, plumbers, electricians in the area that can help your clients. Tech developments. So that could be KW and how you post directly from a command to social, and then post client testimonials. Now you may have, you'll get them. Don't forget to ask for them as you build your personal and business network. People who know you and know your character, you can get them to do a post even though they haven't bought or sold a house, right? Just don't get them to lie and say, oh, my house buying experience was great. Just, oh, my, whatever positive things they can say about you. And of course, eventually you'll have actual testimonials. So elicit those from your clients when they're the happiest, which is when they are closing on the house. And then engagement creates engagement. So don't post and ghost. So create the post, engage. If anybody liked it, right? You could even go and comment on your own post. Hey, thank you so much for liking this post. Any suggestions, anything else you want to know about blah, blah, blah. You can, I think, find out exactly who liked it. Thanks so much in a direct message. Like if people are direct messaging you back and forth on Messenger, right, on Facebook, that's an engagement piece that Facebook sees. And so that's a higher engagement. That's a two-way conversation. So likely they'll start seeing more of your stuff. Okay. So thank them specifically for liking the post. If they've commented, like the comment, reply to the comment, right? Things like that. So just continue engaging. Participate in online communities. So maybe there's a landlord community. Maybe there's a do-it-yourself, home improvement type of community. Maybe it's a charity community. Whatever interests you, birds of a feather flock together. And, the type of people who are so into pets or home improvement, like they're very similar people, right? And if you're that kind of personality that you love this kind of thing and you engage in that community, like they'll feel like they know you. And right. So go where you know and engage in a community that you'll have more fun doing it. And you'll have more engagement because it'll feel more natural and less spammy engaging with that community. Make sense? Be authentic. Don't be a jack of all trades, right? So specialize, embrace video. So the algorithms love video. Video is where it's at. You could do something like this, like right now, you can do a little screen capture and just be a talking head on a window and post something like that, right? Where you just looking at some of the new listings, or you can go through, hey, what listed, what sold in the last week, right? You can, lots of different things you can do right there, or you can do a selfie. Like this is a good enough video to do. Hey, it's Guy. I'm standing outside 40 Belcourt. We're going on the market tomorrow, or we're going on the market later this afternoon, right? Just waiting for the photos to come in. Whatever, right? So it doesn't have to be super high end. From your phone with the front-facing camera, 90% of the time is good enough. If you're going to do a professional brand video, do a little bit more. Use analytics to optimize your posts. I haven't jumped deep into that. And then ask for help. Hey, I don't know how to post this properly. I don't know how to do it on Instagram. Which tag should I use? Like, probably better. I don't know. You seem like you'd be better at than I don't know. I'm just saying that because you look younger. Yeah.
Not, probably not.
Oh, hi, Andrea. Oh, you're back. Okay. So that's that. That's that. More strategies. And that is social media. Okay. That was quick. So, you can do tons with social media. Tons and tons and tons.
Like a TikTok too, like you can go and get ideas from there. Like,
Oh, yeah. So, okay. There's an agent at the energy office who closed $500,000 in gross commission income last year. Her number one source of business is Instagram, and she spends a lot of time preparing her video. The topic, it's about something pertinent to real estate. She's educating, providing value, but it's like her in the backyard talking. I can't remember I think maybe she has a tripod, but like it's nothing special, really. The videography is nothing special.
Yeah.
But and she edits it, Jaden, I think is her name. Yeah. But regular. She's regularly posting about something that's happening in the community, perhaps, but about real estate, about the first time home buyers plan, like whatever it might be. She's posting regularly and she's just providing content, and it's her in the backyard, it's her in front of the house. It's just simple. And she's engaging, and what she's sharing is valuable, and people are, appreciating it. So
It's relatable.
yeah, exactly. Okay, number one job is to find ways to get in the path of motivated buyers and sellers. What's the keyword there, Carrie?
Motivated?
Yeah, motivated, right? There's nothing more depressing than, if we find the right one. So what do you think you're selling? Well, we'd really love to, like, bucket list type house. Well, if, we'll see what happens with trauma. Like, okay, goodbye, right? Like, and that's a common response right now. But I'm going to think back to last year. Okay, so open house, the lady I'd met, I've talked about her a few times. She wasn't terribly motivated. Really, she was thinking, in the future, yeah, I think I might want to, but she didn't really know. So that was fine. And the motivation kind of grew. It was really when she found the house, oh my gosh, I love this house, motivated. Okay. Another person who came through as a realtor.ca lead on that same open house, the same listing, they lived on Wellington Street, very busy, and in the North Park, Davidson, Oakley Park Public School District, which they didn't feel was the best public school for their daughter, who was starting JK in September. So where's their motivation? We want to be in a better school district, in a nicer neighborhood, off a busy street. So they bought literally a block away from the house I'm about to list. So I'll be knocking on their door and say, hey, somebody over house. So they were motivated because of and timing. Like, I listed that in the summer. They closed just after school started. It was great. Oh my God. And so motivated. Now, their parents kind of provide daycare for the younger sibling. Not kind of, they do. They're like full-time taking care of them during the day. And they wanted to be closer. They were on Little Labs, also very busy. They wanted to downsize their mortgage, and they just bought and closed on both of those in January. So that's great. And my wife does some painting as well, and their new house was going to be vacant, so she painted that. And I was like, painted a whole house. Like, that was nice. So motivated, right? So what is their motivation? And that's why in that sign-in sheet for the open house is, when would you like, when do you hope to buy or sell? 0 to 6 months, 6 to 1, right? And we need to focus our attention with those who are motivated, ready, willing, and able. So the ready is like, yeah, my life is in a situation where I'm ready now, I'm motivated, and I'm willing, like if I find the right one, or I'm willing to list my house with you, and able. So first-time buyer, for instance, yes, I have a down payment, I'm pre-qualified, I have a cosigner, or I have extra, right? I'm able. So anyway, beat that to death. So the M's of lead generation: method and message, or message and method. So you want to match your market, and then you make an offer. So I'm not going to go through in crazy detail, but So approach, connect, ask. So prospecting versus marketing, okay? People are going to move every 7 to 10 years, and we want to try to approach them and connect with them before that happens, right? And see the hash marks there? That's like 2 to 3 years. So 6, 8 months, Kim made her move after that open house, right? That was perfect. I met her towards the end of that sweet spot. She was going to an open house because she was getting, right, she was really starting to seriously think about it. Where 3 years, a year ago, or 2 years ago, she was dealing with cancer, right? Like her husband. So she would have been at the bottom or before, not at all thinking about it. People who are relocating, for instance, right? They're top end of that. People who are like, my kids, we're going to downsize when the kids are done high school. Well, how long is that? Next fall. Okay, they're in like a year, right? So these hash marks are like 2 to 3 years. I'm door knocking or I'm talking to somebody, and when are you thinking of buying or selling? 2 or 3 years, whatever, after this happens, and you find out that's the person you want to add to your database. If they're like, oh, we just moved here. Okay, awesome. What do you think? What do you like about the neighborhood? See ya, right? See ya. I don't even want to add. Do you want me to keep in touch with you? Like for what, 10 years? Right? Possibly. And I've done it, but the people who are just like, because you get like, it's like money almost in the bank. They're almost there. You could see this like, yeah. In the spring, I know they're listening. You start seeing this pipeline. It's like, oh my gosh, if all these people actually do what they say they're going to do, if half of them do what they say they're going to do this year, it's going to be a good year. It's nice to know that and have that. So marketing versus prospecting, 5 more minutes. We'll get through what we can get through. Prospecting is active. It's time intensive. You are going out, knocking on doors, making calls. You're right there with people. Marketing is passive and it's expensive. Oh, and prospecting is very cheap. So I'm going to spend 20 cents per postcard. If I do 100, I'll spend $20, $22.60, whatever tax is, on 100 postcards. And I might have, if I knock on 100 doors, I'll probably have 30 conversations. I'll definitely have conversations with people I know and who know me, and some of them will be longer conversations as a result. But I might add people to my database, but at least I'm just top of mind again with them. Okay, $20, but it's going to be 3 hours probably, especially with the snow, maybe 4. So more time versus I can spend 20 minutes, $20 or $200 or $2,000 on online leads. It's passive. Just put it out there and wait for the phone to ring, right? And it may or may not. Now, if I'm branding and building a brand, marketing is important. And so let me just see if it said it there. One of the things we talk about, it may or may not come up here, is being prospecting based and marketing enhanced. So the social media things you'll do, these are, prospecting things to do. You take a picture if you want. We talked about some of these already. And like you can fill your days planning things. Find the ones that you are the best at, or you enjoy the most, or you are effective with, and do more of those. Things that you're finding, like, wow, that's really working. Do more of it. Double down on what's working. And then marketing. So these are other ways of marketing. I would say you could have a great big business with 0 marketing. If you ever want to get to like the Peggy Hill, Mark Ferris kind of timeline with, or like business, like you need to have some kind of marketing. You need to have some branding. The phone needs to ring, not because you've been following up with Joe and Nancy for 4 years, right? It needs to ring because someone saw your ad somewhere. Okay. So prospecting plus marketing. So you're going to do your geo-farming, maybe it's your neighborhood. You'll do open houses and seminars and contests, network. I'm in a bunch of network marketing, not network marketing, but referral marketing networks. And then maybe you do some referral nights, advertising networks. And you're going to do some of that stuff in there. Client referrals. These are the best. When someone has already sold you to their friends, their family, their neighbor, it makes it so much easier. So you can ask them to share your app, but it's important to just ask for referrals. Don't be afraid to ask. Hey, by the way, a whole other discussion, but you could start your conversation in your relationship with your future client or your client with, hey, my goal while we're working together is to impress you and take care of you in such a way that you can't help but share your experience with your friends and family and your neighbors. And anyone you know who's even thinking of buying or selling a house, you'll, do your best to introduce me with them, just like you might recommend a crazy restaurant you just went to or a movie you just saw. right? Because those are natural things to recommend, but I'd want them to be able to do that. And so I'm setting the stage for how they should expect to be treated and how they should reward me for treating them that way, right? And then, but if you put that out there, you better take care of them. Yeah. So rewards for referrals. I've got some Cutco things. They're a preferred vendor, and it's a cheese spreader. So, and yeah, it's a cheese spreader. Thanks for spreading the word. Right. So something like that. Or if they've just closed, I'll use it as a closing gift because they're new for me. Hey, thanks so much. I really appreciate having worked with you and that experience. And hey, just so you know, I really appreciate it when my clients spread the word about their experience with me and introduce me to their friends and family. And just again, as a little thank you for your trust, as well as future introductions. Here's a cheese spreader for helping spread the word. Yeah. And then thank you handwritten notes, follow up with things like that. Oops. Agent to agent referrals. So you can grow a database for people who are out of town. KWEX has a big network online. You can do that. Business referrals. So make connections with mortgage brokers, painters, like all the contractors, anybody who would be involved with real estate, even lawn care people, like whatever it might be. Make relationships with businesses and geographic farming. So around a specific area, open houses, we talked about that. This is, I would say, like if you're starting out, you'd probably not start with events and seminars necessarily. Although I wouldn't, you could organize it and have other speakers. You can organize one about downsizing. So you've got a professional organizer, maybe a mortgage person, home stager. Like you can have a few people talk about like the best way to get the most money out of your house so that you have the most money to go left over after you've moved into a smaller home, right? Anyway, you could create one, organize it and advertise it and have other professionals speak. And you're the glue that held it all together and the person they're thanking for putting such a great presentation together. But just recognize leads are everywhere. Everywhere you go, like you can talk to the person in front of you in line, wherever, unless you're, drive through. But put a plan together, start with your sphere first, right? Your database, the people you already know, start there. And I'll just leave you with this, my experience. So I talked about bold. I had to make these phone calls, right? I had to make these contacts. It could be anybody. And the first script was, I'll butcher it, but hey, Carrie, it's Guy. Hey, how's it going? Whatever. Hey, I'm not sure if you knew that I just got my real estate license. And anyway, I'm in a course, and they've given this each a challenge, and we're in a contest. And the person with the most referrals next week at class wins a prize. So I'm just curious if you know anyone who's planning on buying or selling a house.
That's a good one.
So I, first thing I did was made a list of everybody I knew, anybody I had a phone number for, and I went through them. And that might have gotten me through the first week because really, right? Like 100 people kind of got through that list fairly quickly. And then it was door knocking. Conrad Decker and John and Laura Green closed on his first home and then their sale and purchase within 3 months of getting my license from that list, from that conversation. Super simple. Called everyone I knew. So right, start with your sphere, connect with them. If all you have is a phone number, ask for an email address. Do you mind if I send you some stuff? If you see anything valuable, maybe forward it to a friend. But start with that. Anyway, so connect with your sphere. That worked for me. It's just timing. It's timing. One lived in the parents' apartment in the back of their house, and they were downsizing. Needed to sell. Guess who ended up buying it? His brother. But he bought a house already anyway. And then the other people, this was April 20, Yeah, this was April 2014. They were thinking maybe in the fall. And they went to an open house after I talked to them, like shortly after I talked to them, and fell in love with it. And so, yeah, help them list their house and buy the house. Yeah. So anyway, it can work, and it can work quickly. Volume early on is important, and you have a full-time job. I didn't when I first started, but I worked like part-time for the team that I was working with, and my wife was working, and I was more the caregiver at that time for our 1-year-old. So I was dropping off, I was picking up all of that, most of that stuff. And most of these calls I did were in the evening. My friends don't mind if I'm calling them in the evening. But I was like, if there was an hour here, I was making calls. If there was half an hour, I was making calls. I was like, and again, because I had this accountability of making 20 every day, right? I was doing them on the weekend if I was behind. And depending on who the friend was, I called them at 9:30. Because there was no way, I mean, we were broke. There was no way I was not going to make this work. So anyway, thank you guys online. Sorry to talk your ears off. Sorry to go a little long. If you ever have any questions, reach out to Sarah. Happy to connect. Any questions before I let you go online?
Not a question, but if I could just say, Guy, this was great tonight. Confirmed some of the strategies that I've been using and then some good takeaways. So thanks.
You're welcome, Andrea. Thanks for bearing with me. All right, guys. I'm gonna close the meeting. I think. Figure this out. We'll see you again around the office.
Bye. Good night, everyone.
See ya.
Nice.
How slow that mouse is. Oh, almost.
It was really good. I'm so glad I got to come into this one because I've had a couple agents ask me